Okay, here we are in American Megafauna, and we're turning over another card for another turn. Ooh, okay. So this is the card, this is a type of card that got changed between the two playings. It became some sort of victory point card in the new version, which is to say, you bid on these still with genes, but if you have a creature with the proper match, you're able to score a number of points equal to the number of DNA that you that you had to match. And you have to have the size matched, this, that, and the other. Much cooler, in my opinion, although maybe for play reasons it's been changed, the original game, the one we're playing, says that this allows you to get a new genotype. That happens for free in the other version. But this makes you able to create new little critters. And yes, I can understand from a play perspective, being able to generate those new types of critters is so important towards protecting yourself, and you don't want to have just one creature because it'll get stomped out. So this card becomes really valuable. But it's just cool to be able to become this new kind of creature. Okay, so there's two creatures available. If you are basically a mammal, and two of the creatures are basically mammals, Two-Tusker, even though he's got more reptilian teeth than mammal, and Dogface. The others are all considered reptiles. So if you're a mammal, you get to use the mammal side of the card. If you're a reptile, you get to use a reptile side of the card. And you've got that base distinction. Okay, so by expressing a genotype, you not only get sort of this heritage value. So for example, if I express this genotype on the Tusker, I would inherit insect eater and nocturnal for my new genotype. I can also take DNA that I have in the old genotype that I'm spreading from and take them onto my card. And that is a huge benefit. Okay, so this is going to be up for bid. And is there a tiebreaker? I do not see a tiebreaker on this. I'm not sure who gets the tiebreaker on these. Okay, well, I'll go back. I'll do bidding, but I'll look at the rules and see who gets the tiebreaker on them. So this is really a cool factor. The tiebreaker is based on dentition, but for speciation, it is dinosaur teeth or reptile teeth when the greenhouse level is high, and mammal teeth when the greenhouse level is low. So the cold weather provides an advantage to the mammals. Well, I went through the bidding, and Proto-Croc bought it for $3. Pretty decent price. And he's going to probably spawn himself a turtle at some point. What's cool about it? Two things. The armor means that nothing eats it easily. So that can be an effect in culling. It's not a huge one. But the insect eating fits a couple of niches. And that would be primary tiebreaker. So it is definitely of interest. Both he and the Dino Croc and Dogface stayed in it around to the 3. He won the tie, so he would get it. Okay, so now we get to express cards. Now, did anything happen with this card? Ooh, we have a Milankovitch. That changes things. I gotta figure out how that happens. P. Okay, we go here. We're gonna see perihelion summer. The land is drier. All terrestrial biomes with rain shrink. and all biomes in their preferred latitudes grow. Preferred latitude, where do we see that? I'm going to have to look at that one. That's placement latitude, climate preference. Ooh. I am not seeing a preferred latitude. Is that placement latitude? I don't know. Okay, I don't have a clear answer that I could find in the rules. All I can see is, for example, tropical has the rain, so I'm going to consider that preferred there. Horse latitude has the sun symbol next to it. Jetstream has this symbol, which I don't see anywhere. I don't know what it is, but if it shows up, it shows up. Oh, there it is. Okay, and Arctic has the sun. So I'm going to treat the weather, well, I guess that's the latitude symbol. I mean, whatever, and take care of these. So what do we see? This is part of the fiddling of the game, and you'll see this in much worse ways. Let's look at this. Land dry or terrestrial biomes with rain shrink and in preferred latitudes grow. That means these stay the same because they're both. In fact, nothing is going to change in the tropical. But when we go up here, what do we see? We see this is sun. It's in a sun. It'll grow. It's now got biomass 3. What are we looking at? Rain shrinks, not sun. Rain shrinks. This goes down to biomass 1. It's only going to hold 1 critter. This one's fine. Fine, fine. Up we go. I don't know what these are. Okay, so that's the net effect of that. We had some biomass changes. All right, and now we move on, and we'll be expressing cards and spreading out, etc. I shall try to figure out what I want to do in terms of showing that. So competition drives things, and what do we see from that? Well, starting with the beak lizard, he didn't want to make any changes. He grew to size 2, but largely that's for flexibility's purpose. He's staying his little squid-like thing. Two-Tusker also raised to size 2 if he wasn't there already, and stays as he was. However, the Proto-Croc, first of all, he played his... You'll see he's got, there's a little guy there. That's his turtle. Now, it just turned out lucky that I had a turtle icon for the turtle. That's kind of a pity of the game, is that the little genotyped tents aren't going to match the picture on there. And there's nothing you could do about that, I think. Without spending a lot of money on production. Okay, and both it and the Proto-Croc raised to size 2, but the Proto-Croc also said, hey, I'm going to become a carnivore. Basically, there's already keyed up enough things that look like successful herbivores that it doesn't want to be competing with them. It will die out. And the Dino Croc made basically the same decision. Up to size 2, remember, it can drop back down to size 1. Carnivores want to stay small. And moved up into the carnivore slot. Now, this is something that these rules do not express at all well. And the map doesn't express well. They talk about each hex having 1 or 2 triangles in it. Well, the only triangles you see of that nature are these. I don't know what happened. The new map clearly has little triangles above and below the boxes, just like this does. But it seems completely ignored on here. It's not a big deal once you know that, and I know this only from having played the new version, that sitting on top or below indicates something different and is allowed at all. So on top means I'm a carnivore, below means I'm eating the husks. Okay. Now, and a carnivore could eat either huskers or regular herbivores. Then we go on to Dogface, who moved up to size 3 actually, and he wants more migration ability because he's going to go last, but he's got his pick, he's got those G's. Alright, and now we're going to go on to movement, and to the migrations, and then the cullings. In the middle of herbivore movement, you got to be kind of careful. So the first thing I did was I moved the beak lizards. Well, there isn't much they can move to. They've got their little niche. It's the water. Nothing's in there. Nothing's bothering them, but they can't really go anywhere from there. They're hoping for a wetter world. They thought about going into here, but it looked like they would lose to good old Two-Tusker. Then moving Two-Tusker, I gotta worry about Dogface Boy. He's bigger, which means he would win conflicts here. So I had to be kind of careful to migrate to areas where I wouldn't get eaten or where I wouldn't lose out. But also to kind of try to build barriers. They're not really there because he can migrate 3 spaces. So it's very hard to control terrain in this game. Okay, let's go on to, I guess Dogface is still remaining as an herbivore. He hasn't switched anyone to carnivore yet. Being a carnivore is fun. There's lots of space for the carnivores and lots of herbivores for them to eat. So they're finding they don't have to really conflict. There are places where they share, but they figure they'd rather grow their population than just try to eliminate carnivores that'll just get replaced by somebody else's carnivore. There's no real, neither one has any benefit. There's no desire to really kill one of those off. We do have one conflict, however, down here. We got Two-Tusker, who's got a lot of teeth, which normally means he wins, but this turtle snuck in there, and it eats insects, so it drops Two-Tusker down so that the biomass is respected. And there's no culling on the carnivores because there's enough food for them everywhere. And we go on to another turn. Alright, I'm going to zip this one up. From now on, I'm going to try not to explain as much. I know I've gone through every step and every turn. I want to aim more for key events in the game at this point. Maybe if something comes up that's really cool, or hey, after a few turns if we see things beginning to develop. Okay?